So we had the Honorable Minister speaking to us of the various initiatives which are being taken, and these are some of the very progressive measures which he sounded, definitely going to be giving a lot of boost to the aviation sector. So now with this very optimistic environment which he has created, in fact also a very conducive environment for the investors, that yes, the investment is going to be coming in. We now take a little more deeper look and understand the supply chain, its complexity, the challenges which are there. And for that, I would like to invite our keynote address speaker, Mr. Sambit Tripathi, Director, Ministry of Shipping. We heard from the Honorable Minister about the aviation sector and more on the ports and the shipping industry, how it's going to be, how the initiatives which are being taken towards that, and how it is going to be giving a boost to the SCM sector. Inviting your views, sir.
Thank you. Distinguished representatives from trade and industry and friends. I would like to take this opportunity to highlight the opportunities, the challenges and the innovations in the maritime sector in general and the port sector in particular. As you know, ports across the globe play a very critical role in the transport logistic chain. Indian ports, between them, handle about 95% of the country's EXIM trade by volume. Therefore, it is incumbent upon the government to have a very focused approach towards creating capacity in the ports to handle EXIM cargo both efficiently and in a cost-effective manner. India has a long maritime tradition, given our long coastline of around 7,500 kilometers. We have in India around 12 major ports which are under the administrative control of the Ministry of Shipping, and around 200 non-major ports which are either privately owned or under the administrative control of the respective state governments. Today, as on 31/3/2014, the combined capacity of the ports in India stands at 1,425 million tons. And between them, the ports have handled around 980 million tons of traffic. In the Ministry of Shipping, we have been working on a twin strategy of creating newer facilities, and also we have been attempting to mechanize and modernize the existing facilities in the major ports. And in tandem with infrastructural upgradation and addition of facilities, efforts are also being made to create an enabling policy and regulatory framework within which the major ports and the various port users are required to operate. In this backdrop, it would be a pleasure to share some of the recent achievements which the ministry has been able to achieve in the sector. In terms of augmenting port infrastructure, the ministry has been largely relying on the public-private partnership mode. Further, with a view to providing a transparent mechanism for award of projects, the ministry has been able to standardize the various bid documents, streamline the process of obtaining clearances, has put in place a mechanism to expedite the appraisal and the approval of port projects, and simplified the process of allotting land for various initiatives. Thus, notwithstanding the overall slowdown in the country's economy and low GDP growth rate, our ministry has been able to, especially the major ports, has been able to achieve staggering total 62 projects, entailing an investment of 27,475 crores and involving a capacity addition of around 354 MTPA in the last 2 years. The ministry is also conscious of the fact that the targets that we have set for ourselves in the next 5 years can only be achieved by a mix of measures which would include removing the structural constraints afflicting the sector and by providing an enabling regulatory framework and appropriate policy interventions. The first in the agenda is to redefine the role of tariff authority for major port trust, that is TAMP. the Ministry has already notified a new market-based tariff guidelines for PPP projects. In this regard, the recommendations of the B.K. Chaturvedi Committee is also under active consideration of the Ministry. The committee has suggested a calibrated approach in this regard. In the short run, expanding tariff setting capacities through in-house capacity building. In the medium term, TAM to be converted into an appellate authority. And finally, in the long run, leaving tariff setting mechanism to the market forces. The second step is to infuse greater professionalism and expertise in the functioning of the port trust boards, and the broad contours of such an approach are being deliberated upon. Finally, there is a growing realization that agreements cannot be cast in stone. This is more so in the area of PPP agreements and contracts. It is being realized that what is required today is greater flexibility in interpretation and scope for negotiations at the post-bidding stage. The challenge is to provide a mechanism whereby the issues are resolved in a transparent manner. In fact, it has been the endeavor of the ports, the major ports, to provide the port users with the best of services on par with global standards. To make this a reality, we are making conscious effort at improving the existing efficiency parameters. A global comparison would show that we are not really up to the global benchmarks. And therefore, the answer to the present situation is to modernize and mechanize most of the port operations, and we have been consciously trying to achieve our goal in this regard. In fact, the ports are increasingly resorting to innovations for providing cost-effective port operations. As you all know, that one of the critical restrictions, one of the morphological restrictions in the port sector is the non-availability of adequate drafts. Now, the ship size economies today are directly linked with port drafts. Cost of transporting, for instance, a ton of coal from South Africa to Vizag by Cape-size vessel is $10 per ton less if you compare it with a handy-size bulk vessel. Therefore, what I would like to mention here is the innovations which has been carried out by Kandla Port. Kandla Port has deployed floating cranes and has carried out lighterage operations in deep sea. And by that, though they have restrictions in the draft, they have been able to handle Cape-size vessels, which has provided economy of scale of operations to the port users. And today, we are also focusing on expanding this innovative method to other ports, and it is likely that in the near future, you will see many such innovations in the major port sector. The focus of the ministry has also been to make ports act as catalysts for growth of the hinterland. Emphasis is on port-led development model, the critical element of which are the special economic zone projects. Ports having adequate land banks are being encouraged to seek regulatory approval and put in place the required infrastructure for making port-centered development a reality. It is also realized that hinterland development will be a reality only by making provision for making adequate connectivity. In this regard, the ministry has adopted a concerted and a coordinated approach towards improving connectivity to the major ports for faster evacuation of cargo. Connecting ports to the hinterland is a priority area for the ministry and will be implemented in a project mode as part of the Sagarmala project. And providing linkages with the transport corridors are also being envisaged. As part of the connectivity proposal, it is also the endeavor of the ministry to provide an alternative mode of transportation and evacuation of cargo, which is eco-friendly, which is cost-effective, and at the same time fuel efficient. In this context, ministry is taking proactive steps to incentivize a modal shift from from the road and rail traffic to coastal shipping and inland waterways. The ministry is conscious of the challenges before it, which are required to be surmounted if we want our ports to provide services to the entities engaged in EXIM trade on par with the best in the world. and develop Indian ports as transshipment hubs. It is expected that with the cooperation of all the stakeholders, the ministry would be able to achieve the goal of making Indian ports comparable to the best in the world. And in the next 5 years, you would see a remarkable change, not only in the attitude of the port, in the ports, the major ports, towards port users, but also we will be taking proactive policy measures for promoting ports as a critical element in the whole supply chain management. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing with us the initiatives which the Ministry of Shipping is taking towards making our ports more globally competitive, state-of-the-art infrastructure, upgrading them, bringing about modernization. He also spoke about encouraging PPT towards it, and again, more of transparency in the entire functioning. Also capacity building and faster evacuation of cargo. This is where they're looking into more of coordination and cooperation between the other modes of transport. That is where you have the railways, you have the roads, so more driving in more connectivity between them. And then creating, again, a very conducive environment, a conducive regulatory framework, bringing in more enabling policies and programs. So thank you for sharing all this information with us. Thank you.